Senator Marsha Blackburn grilled Facebook over its effect on young teen girls. Watch this.
Did Facebook know about content on its platform used to recruit women into forced slavery? And why did you not remove it until Apple threatened to drop Facebook from the App Store?
I don't agree with that characterization of what occurred.
This is your company's reporting. You knew it was there, but you didn't do anything about it.
All right, strong stuff. And Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican from the great state of Tennessee, joins us now. Now, Senator, do you have any sense of what Facebook could do in the face of the pressure that you're putting on them? What could they do?
What they could do is begin to tell the truth. And because of a whistleblower, we now have hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents and survey after survey and research after research that they have conducted, Stuart. And it shows, first of all, they're in violation of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And secondly, it shows that they do allow children under 13 years of age to set up an Instagram account. They also are doing research on children from 8 years old, as young as 8 years old, to find out what type digital experience they like. They also allow children to set up accounts that are secondary accounts, kind of a shadow account, so that they can have their own private experience on Instagram, and that one is not followed by their parents. Now, they did claim that they get parental permission when they're doing surveys and research with tweens and teens. And by the way, tweens should not be on this site. But they could not show us what that consent letter looked like that parents would sign.
Do you favor any really draconian restriction saying something like, if you're under 12, you can't get on social networks, you're banned? I mean, something as draconian as that?
What we need is for Facebook to follow the law, and children under 13 years of age are not to be online without a parent. They cannot set up their own accounts. And so Facebook needs to adhere to that. But children under 18 years old, and these are children, Stuart, Facebook is collecting their data. They could not tell us what they do with the data, but we know they're data mining. They could not tell us how long they hold that data, and would not answer the question if they are building a digital profile of that user, of that child. So what we will do is strengthen the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. It's called COPA. And we will strengthen that and put more stringent penalties in place so that we protect children, teenagers, we protect young adults, teens from having their data mined, tracked, followed. Plus, when it comes to some of the other platforms, in addition to Facebook, we know that child predators use these, such as the questioning I was doing yesterday with moving young girls and teenage girls into sex trafficking and domestic servitude.
Fix your own house or else. Senator Marsha Blackburn, thank you for being with us, man. We always appreciate it. Come again soon.
With you. Thank you.
Thank you.